See, you're insane. I'm not. I haven't been insane in decades. For real, I haven't. So here's what the deal is, okay? Let me punch my code in while I was recording. And that's my problem. Too sane. Sane. See, so I got a problem with what you call reality. Because it may cause me insanity, such as anger and madness. Because that's what I mean by that with it. Like reality, because it's not what is. It's what the cell is. So I have a problem with it. So to escape it, after you mean with it, okay, eat all day. I'm about to do, hallucinatory drugs and all that I've seen and done, touched all that stuff and know all that research. I had to know what was to you, how it was, and what you were doing in concern with it. Had to know all about it. So I was there, I was with them. If I didn't do it, I watched them closely. So it's marijuana, weed, escapism from reality. See, what I found out was this. You could have a flat tire on the side of the road in a snowstorm and light some weed, and you'll start talking about, wow, it's pretty, it looks really pretty out here in the snow. All right. When a minute ago, 5 minutes ago, you were complaining like it was the end of the world, like you were finna die. And you messed around and you lit some weed, and now it's cool out here. You know, you might want to come live out here. Same scenario, flipped around. You're in the middle of you have no water, you feel like you're about to die, and you reach in your pack and you find some weed, and you start walking through the desert, imagining you some Arab guy, some dude, you're gonna discover something or whatever. Anyway, here's the bottom line: you feel better, regardless of how bad things really are in reality or is. The release of serotonin makes you feel, you see the glass is half full. So if you feel better, you do better. That's why people like weed, or I see other stuff has negative side effects where you do bad, do wrong, people hate you or whatever. But it seems like weed seems to step your game up. It's not that the weed gives you any super abilities or any kind of abilities at all. What it is attitude, okay? You feel better, you do better. It's a confidence thing in everything. The one that hits the dart with the bullseye is the one who knows he's gonna hit it. Okay, not the guy who's hoping he'll hit it. That sounds jittery right there, which is a miss if you're shaking and you're jittery. So weed leads to feeling better. Confidence comes from feeling better. Better performance comes from confidence. So you see why it's the preferred thing around the world. You know, other people, odds and ends for taking certain things, they were hooked like a fish. It wasn't their intentions. They tried something and now they regret it. Okay, so now what we have is a situation where I've been using this thing to avoid reality because reality is not, it's not what is. Okay, you've been taught that reality is what is, and all the words meaning that, really, real, all that. But I want you to take the word and add a letter, add an L to the end of it. Whenever you find Al, add another L, and you'll see what the original word was. Okay, whenever you see the word Al, add another L. I'm gonna let you in on something. Okay, this might be been wrong of me. The reason I'm doing this now, because I sat on it and I kept it for selfish reasons. Because my organization has this word incorporated into it. Now, if someone else starts using this word, they might mess around and stumble on the name that I was going to use, which will mess up my whole empire and my plan. So I'm not going to even tell them the word. I'm going to leave them in the dark, sleep. Now that's where I was wrong. For my own, it's not for my selfish gain, because the empire is to help the world, save the world. You'll know when I tell you now. But right now, what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put my name down, so all of you who gets on this path can't use those names, because they'll be just as good as copyrighted with this note. See, you'll be hearing this note way before you can think of your name. So here's what I'm going to tell you. If you live in America, if you live anywhere, this thing you keep calling God, there's a better word for it. See, God is not a good word, or God is a word made by men to describe statues and stuff. I think these men were called the Greeks. They invented the word God. God is a Greek word. And the thing that you're thinking about, your creator was here before the Greeks, I think. Before the Greeks gave him a name, I think he was here already. So God's not a good word, okay? You have a better word. The word is called all. Yeah, all. Don't be scared because the Muslims are talking about Allah and the holiness. No, the word is all. It's a better word. Think about it. It says what you're trying to say. When you say all, when you're trying to say God and you're trying to describe something by using the word God, say all and see, don't it describe it better? Okay? That's why we have an organization called the Servants of All. Okay? And that's why we have the Hall of All. Okay? And we have all serve. We have we have a lot of things. So later on, if you come up with an all word or organization, you might want to run past us first, because we will challenge you for it and shut you down, because we're on a mission to save the world. You're trying to have a congregation or something. I don't know. That's we're gonna get to that in another note. So is and all are the same thing. Okay. What is all. Reality is not. So when you use the word, when you add that other L to the word real, you have a word called all. You know what it means to something, right? To do it again, to do it over, to something. So when you have something called all, what you call real, it's the name for when everything was changed, when all the names was changed, when all the history, all the records, all the everything that is was renamed by someone. Okay, that's what real means. That's what real means. It's the word for all this crap you see around you that we made. That's real. That's reality. Okay, but that's not what is. Okay, that's not what you're trying to say. So I have a problem with real, reality. Okay, and so I avoid it because I couldn't beat it at first. It was here before me, and it was so deeply embedded, and it had completely overcaked the earth. It's like when you cake mud on top of something. So I act ignorant, all right? I ignore it. Matter of fact, I quit. I didn't participate in it at all. Try using is. Don't use reality. I know what you are witnessing right now is devastating to you. It's like the bottom just fell out the world. Okay? That's all you had to stand on was reality. It was the basis of all your arguments. It was the call on all your flags. It was everything. Reality. It's all. No, it wasn't all. That's what I'm telling you. It's something painted over all. Like when you cake something on top of it. Give you a real give you an is example. Okay? There was a piece of land flourishing, grass, trees, plants, flowers. You came along, or you paid someone to come along, kill the trees, kill the plants, dig up the grass, and build that thing you call a house. Now, the first thing they did was kill all the grass, kill all the trees, pull up all the trees, and put down the cement scab over where they wounded the earth. Like the earth is alive. In case you didn't know that, it's alive. It's a living thing. And when you dig it, it's the same as me cutting you on your arm. Okay? And that water that you take for granted is the earth's blood. It makes everything work. You use up all the earth's blood, the earth will die. And guess what? Who's next? So that's reality, okay? That house you built, that cement driveway, those poles you put up, the statue you got in the fountain. That's reality. Is is up underneath all that crap you built. The ground, the dirt, the grass, the the plants, the roots of the tree you chop down. That's is. That's what is. This other stuff is some thing you killed, all right? And then you moved it somewhere else. Show you what I'm saying. You killed the tree, you cut it up into pieces, and you made that thing you call a house out of dead tree. Okay, so you had to kill something in order to make this thing you live in. All right, in order for you to so-called live, you have to kill. No, not that I adhere to any of these so-called religions, but let me point out a thing to you about the Ten Commandments. In those commandments, you see, you shall not do this to thy neighbor, you shall not do that to thy neighbor, and this to thy neighbor. But there's this one that says, you shall not kill. It don't say that you shall not kill your neighbor. It says you shall not kill. Period. You have to note the difference. Okay? These are rules of how you treat your fellow man, and then all of a sudden there's this rule that say you shall not kill, and that's it to imply anything, not thy neighbor, just thy neighbor. You don't have a right to kill anything because you don't have the right to give the spark of life, which means you don't have license to cut a blade of grass just so you can pass. That grass has just as much right to be here as you do. And who are you to chop down the bushes so that you have a walking path through the jungle? Who are you do you presume to be? You better learn to climb trees like the rest of the animals and make their way through. You don't see them cutting grass and chopping down trees to go their way. Okay? A beaver waits till a tree falls most of the time. All right? They show you that crap on TV. Beavers are the natural tree trimmers. Like the reasons you feel you have to trim your trees because of certain things, all right? Well, beavers were put here to do that naturally. Mother Nature and the earth don't need your help with trees. You don't need you to prune them, don't need you to do any of that, all right? We, the gardeners, do it because you make me laugh. Neuralized, all noises in the background, analyze them all at this point. I want to know every last sound, every bird tweaking everything, and if it's authentic. I want to know what it is, and I want to trace down below the below. All vibrations, all everything reenacted. I want it all. So I'm going to, rather than try to struggle to get back to the point, what I'm going to do with this vampire crap is I'm going to go back to the reason for the note and end this. You're crazy. I'm not. I have a problem with one of your crazinesses that you call reality. It's not what is, okay? It's someone's attempt at fooling everyone. It's someone's attempt at remaking the world that was already made. One day you will find out that you might be safer in a cave, and that caves aren't just accidents, that they happen for a reason. You may find out that when all your houses flood or fall down or the earthquake rip up everything and you run for safety and shelter in the mountains into a cave, you may realize you might have been in the safest structure in the first place. Now, so much for your world of progress. So I quit. I didn't want to participate in it, have no party to it. Could have been a superstar, could have been super rich, could have been all of none of that is, all right? What you're thinking when you say real, none of that is to me. So it's not real in your language. It's not real to me, all right? It's just some paper, all right? You keep killing stuff and trying to set a new value to it when its original value was to keep you alive. The tree was there so that you could breathe. You need air to breathe. But your insanity, you're going to kill the tree and you're going to make houses and dressers and cabinets. Oh, and don't forget money. You're going to make money out the tree and you're going to tell everyone that it takes money to live, not trees. Now are you beginning to get the insanity? You beginning to get the picture that you really are insane and don't know it because it's become normal, and normal has become a word that gives you a pass on crazy shit. Somewhere in the insane encyclopedia or manual, someone says, if you say everyone's doing it, that makes it all right. I'm not the only one. Makes it better? How? Everybody does that. Does that make it all right? What if everybody stab a little kid once a day? Okay? Does it make it all right for you to stab a little kid? Everybody's stabbing little kids these days. No. Now you see how it looks in the is? You can attach it to any other situation and try to make it look good. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of all I was, I just, I only. You know what those prefixes mean? Not a damn thing. It's what they're going to say after that they really were doing. But they put I only, I just, I was to try to soften it up or to make it seem smaller. How can you make something something else? You can't make a car smaller with your words. But that's what that attempt is. I was only, I just, all I did. You know, man, why don't they just say what they did? Because it's an attempt to make it seem like not such a big deal in your mind. And that's what this other crap reminds me of, a failed attempt to make me think something other than what is. And you can blame it on the devil, aliens, white people. You can blame it on the Illuminati. You can blame it on whoever. The truth is, you don't know. You don't know anything. If you check what I'm saying against what you know, you're going to feel like an amnesia patient. Like, hey, he's right, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember. No one remembers how this happened. We accept the fact you pointed out it's really happened and it's really happening, but none of us know how we got here. Nobody knows who they really are. None of us know our true name or identity or where we're actually from and what was actually went down in this on this planet. We have amnesia and we don't know why. We thought we kept history, but now we look back at history and we don't even know the history we wrote. We're reading it like for the first time, like, hey, I didn't know that. And it's written right here. And it was written way back then. So if it's been here all the time, why didn't I see it? Why didn't anybody see it? Why is it just popping up on YouTube? And who put it on YouTube? And how did it cross their mind? Everyone's not asleep. Everyone's not insane. I just imply that. People are insane in spots, and they have spots of clarity and sanity. The goal is to be totally clear and totally sane. You get me? So here's the trick. I'm gonna let you in on a secret, right? But all the time where I got you thinking you're keeping a secret from them or that or those, I got secrets I'm keeping from you. You're not really in on the ground floor, the bottom level like you think. I'm running a game on you. And part of that game is to let you think that we are running a game on them. But really, we're running a game on everyone. So you have no answers. What do? You do what you always did. You accept the explanation that a parent tells a little kid, and then you mature more where you can get a better explanation, and then you get to where you can find out for yourself in investigation. And that's when you make your decision as to what it is. Never by what someone told you, never by what someone showed you. Because on the other note, you'll hear you have to see, you have to stop looking to see. Looking is focus. Focus is tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is loss of peripheral vision and loss of the overall picture. That's why you, at your highest point, brag about having understanding. We, on the other point, damn, but you Billy, get on. Oh, sorry about that, people. Um, we brag about having overstanding. New word? Yeah. It probably should have made a dictionary by now. Teacher put it in the mix, put it a long time ago, and we know how he's spied on, or was spied on. What was it effect? Here you are thinking you know things, and then here comes someone with a word that you don't know, but you do know, that you never heard. Overstanding? I can feel what that means, but never before this moment has it came across my mind, across my eyes or ears. To us, it's an old word. We, it's the only way to fly. I'm not impressed by understanding anymore. So imagine the level that we're on and the level that you're on. We're closer to sanity than you are. So we speak as though you're all crazy. We never say we're not crazy too, because we all know that we still got spots that we haven't even found yet. My point, I don't want to go out like the other guys, having to use drugs, having to use drugs to deal with the world and stuff, a world of vampires. See, you may think, oh, Michael Jackson, big star, people fainting, look at all his fans. Dude, dogs love food. That was a vampire fest. He was the best food you could get, a delicacy, especially if you were a mind pyre. He was putting out quality, as in the words of one of my favorite actors, quality H2O, man. You know, but he was putting out the real deal, and that's when you see hordes of vampires feeding. The wine was so good they were fainting. They were so full they were about to bust. And that's what it is. That's the entertainment game. Feed the vampires. Feed the animals. Those who must have input. Must have input. Well, I have to deal with all this. So you see me with vape pen, see me smoking weed. Don't go to thinking or making any kind of assumptions. Do your homework. Find out why he smokes weed. There's other reasons, but I can't reveal that yet because I might be the poster boy for medical marijuana, and I want to keep that under wraps right now. Whole lot of words to say a little to make a couple points. So when you see that smile on my face and a happy look and I'm dancing and popping around, I'm telling you, it's the weed. It's the weed. You don't have to worry about it. I'm not gonna die and you find out that your hero was nothing but a drug addict, because that happened to me every time. You know, Jimi Hendrix, Michael Jackson, the list go on, man. While I'm thinking that it was these people who had these skills, I keep finding out it was the drug making them do that special thing that you call was nothing but a drug reaction. you was that high, you would be doing it too. That broke my heart over and over and over. All the geniuses and heroes OD'd. Now you could say they was murdered, but you got all these hundreds of people involved in their drug use who you can't deny they were using drugs. So I'm not talking about if the drug was used to kill them with. What I'm talking about is them using the drug and them woos and them ahs and the special things. One day I'm gonna break down to you, Mr. Jackson, and what you were really seeing as he adjusted his body because this was stiff and that was stiff and this clothing wasn't right and all this here. How he got himself together right in front of your eyes and you thought it was a new dance move. The boy was just trying to get his underwear out his crack. All right? And you can't really pull your drawers out of your behind on stage, especially on television, and especially if the whole take of a video is going so well. Okay? And there's always a big crew of people there. You gotta understand when the cameras go off, he still has an audience. He still can't do it. You might say, well, just wait till they tell him to cut the camera off. That's because you're an amateur. All right? He was some professional of the professionals. Understand that. He found a way. I'm gonna demonstrate it to you to get out cramps and kinks and stiffness where he didn't get into before. A hand wasn't moving loose enough. He would stop and shake it out right there in front of you. It was the drug. Other people aren't that bold in real life, you know? He made it a technique. I'm gonna show this technique to you. Well, he didn't make it a technique. Let's just say that he picked up on it from somewhere, okay? And that's gonna have to be proven. This can't be stated. But like I said, so I'm gonna smoke weed. And I'm gonna try to get rid of the smoking part when I quit smoking. See, I have to quit smoking on camera in front of everyone so they know that I used to smoke and know that it's about will and will war X. You can't claim to have will or have will over yourself if you're being controlled by something like a cigarette. And if you smoke, it is controlling you. And so I left this last one so that I could do it on camera and hopefully other people can do it along with me. And all those attempts that people have tried before, I'm gonna try to use my influence to do the same, and hopefully it'll work this time. And that's what I want to be my fame, you know, that I actually did what the others were trying to do, you know, not dance or be the greatest this or the greatest that, the greatest thing, but to actually accomplish what those people's goal was. You remember they had messages in their music. They wanted to wake people up. They wanted to change things. They wanted to make it a better world. Well, all right, I want to actually get a rep for he did it. He didn't just talk about it. He made it happen. Not the clothes I made him wear, you know? Well, that's relative because I do have better gear for you. But and it is important. But but my main point of this thing is I might look high. Don't worry about what it is. It's weed, okay? Don't even like drinking. It messes up my skill. I practice all my life to be able to stop on with a put my big toe on a dime anywhere I want to put it. Just stop to do whatever. Alcohol is the opposite of that. The more you drink of it, the more you stagger and can't control your body parts or yourself. All right, now you're staggering. That's the opposite of perfect motion, perfect control. Alcoholism, drunkenness. That's another note though. Yeah, and I worked at the fair. That's why I don't ride the rides.